Welcome back for another edition of Story Time. It's so funny how this ties in with today's times. I've been wanting to do this story time for a long time, but there was a key picture I needed to locate to substantiate and prove that I wasn't making crap up. So I started purging the household where I live today, preparing for my exodus. And so I came upon that picture, so I thought I'd share the damn story. That's what I do sometimes. June 6, 1978, uh, was the prom for the graduating senior class at Mount Pleasant High School, of which a family member, who from here on out will be known as the power of attorney, was in that graduating class at that prom. Back then and until this day, he still thinks he's something else. But so I had talked to a couple friends. I don't know how old you are when you're a freshman in high school, like 15, 16, I don't know. And to my cohorts, we decided we're going to mix a bunch of paint together. And at the end of our football field at the high school, there was like a wall and a fence, and that's where the state park started. But there was a big water tower there. And I said, hey, why don't we paint the water tower the night of the prom and kind of rain on their parade? Because I was in class council, student council, all that BS. I think I was, if I remember right, I think I was the vice president when I was the vice president of graduating class of 81, which was just a popularity contest. That's all it was. But so we spent probably a good hour at one of my buddies' garage while his mom was at work. We mixed all kinds of paints, and I'll never forget. It started to get dark around, if I remember right, it was like around 6:30ish or something like that, 7 o'clock. So mind you, try and give you a perspective if I can do this in a vertical screen. Here's the high school. Here's the water tower. Well, let me do it this way. Here's the water tower, and over here, I can't even do this correctly, is the state police barracks, probably 300 yards away from the high school. But we were determined. We're on a mission. So we get to the water tower. Sorry, it was one of those butterflies. Wasn't sure if it was a bird or not, but we get to the water tower, and we realize the start of the ladder is pretty high. I forget what the height was, 10 feet, something at least. But there was an old pallet, so we prop up the pallet, and we proceed to climb up this water tower. I don't know, 75 feet or 100 feet up in the air. And mind you, I'm definitely afraid of heights, but this was a mission I headed up, so I figured, I just got to suck it up and do our thing. And they had painted it. The top half was all white, and the bottom half of the whatever you want to call it, the bowl or whatever, and all the legs were all green because that was the colors of Mount Pleasant High School. Well, they painted in green in block letters Mount Pleasant. So they did that, and we were going to paint class of 81 underneath it. So This was way back in the day. They came out. I don't know if anybody remembers this. Now it's a common day. It's like everybody's making these things, but it was called a Miracle Brush. It was the little flat thing, almost looked like a Swiffer nowadays, little handle thing, and you could do that. So we mixed all kinds of crazy paints together, and then that crazy brush wouldn't fit into the paint can, so we were pouring little puddles of paint on the rail that surrounded the tower. So we're doing all that, and we get to the 8, and we hear the state police, their sirens and stuff. So I was like, oh crap, I said, we got to finish this. So we kind of hurry. So we start running like there was somewhere to go. You know, you're 75, 100 feet in the air, like you really can't. There's only one way to go. Well, the one guy, I was at the back, and then the one guy behind me steps in the puddle of paint and slips and catches himself on the rail and is hanging there. We pull him back up, and then at that point we realized, all right, we're just going to give up because it's not worth dying for. So the trooper's at the bottom of the ladder, so we might have had a chance if we were on the ground, but he's at the bottom of the ladder, so we pretty much got to comply. So he gets us, and I knew the guy, Trooper Forrester, really nice guy. I used to hang out at the state police barracks growing up. So I knew them all. So we're in there and we're getting scolded and all this stuff's going on. And we're in there for a while. Called the parents, and we're just getting just reamed up and down and out and everything. And then actually, I think they called the parent. We were being escorted out of. This is funny how things happen on this particular day. We're getting escorted out of the back door of the state police barracks to get put in a police car to be taken to family court. They told us they spent. This was back in '78. They said they had spent over $10,000 repainting that water tower. So we're trying to do the math. 10,000 divided by 3. We're like, oh man, we're going to work the rest of our life. So timing was perfect. We're walking out, and here comes Julio, who's like my big brother and father. And he goes, what's going on, guys? And he looks at him, we're all sad and, everything. And then we end up going back in, and the two, Julio and the other trooper are talking. And Julio was a big fisherman. So the people that owned the water tower was Suburban Water. And we used to fish, ever since I was a kid growing up with him, we fished the quarry at Suburban Water. So he knew a lot of people. So he picks up the phone, starts calling Suburban Water and all these people that he knew. And they're like, yeah, we can let it go, blah, blah, blah. And then he calls the, I forget what they call him, family court, magistrate, or I forget what it's called. But he makes a phone call, and he explains the situation. I know these kids, can we take care of it here? And the judge, the magistrate complied. So we get released to get, a verbal chilling from our parents. We were all grounded, didn't really work too well, to be honest with you. But so that was that. So once again, the thumbnail is going to be this picture. There's the photographic evidence, class of '81. And we did a lot more stuff after that, but we were a little bit smarter about it. But so that's story time, the next edition, probably the last edition.